AJ Anthony Joshua.
199.4.
Like that? Who do you think you are? I
Ability. You did say something, and I'm paraphrasing here, so please correct me if I'm misinterpreting it. You said if I could kill him, I'll kill him.
Yeah.
Your old foe, Tyson Fury, today called you a classless loser for saying something like that you shouldn't say that as a boxer. Could you explain to us what you meant by that, and could you please respond to Tyson's statement?
It's my job. We fight. We're licensed to kill. I'm sure many people don't understand it, but this is what my job is, and I just enjoy what I do. Whatever happens, happens. As long as my hand's raised, that's what's important, right? Respectfully. That's just the mentality we have to have as fighters. I don't know if any other fighter thinks that way. Maybe they're a bit more tamed. But the things I watch and the way my mind works, when you're in that ring, it's a dangerous place to be, and anything can happen. And you hope your opponent leaves the ring safely, but if they don't, you still have to go to bed at night knowing that you've just done your job.
The final press conference was a clash of two very distinct energies on the same stage. That contrast is what made it unforgettable. At first, the mood was casual, even playful, almost like a warm-up before the real intensity hit.
Jake Paul's fearlessness creates a challenge for you.
Yeah, definitely. Jake Paul creates a great challenge for me. And he's got a great mindset for sure. Great family, great brother, great person. So yeah, it definitely creates a good challenge for me. But as I said earlier, competition is really good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
AJ, you called this the ultimate barbershop fight, ultimate plane fight. Everyone's talking about it. I love that description. I'm wondering, when you were in Valencia training, maybe back home a little bit here in Miami, are a lot of people coming up to you and saying, can you please knock this guy out? That seems to be the sentiment. Are they coming up to you and saying that?
Nah. They're respectful. People are respectful.
They are?
They're like
I saw in the video there were people there outside the press conference saying, end this man, end this man.
Yeah, you do hear it, but remember, we don't focus on the negative.
True. No, that's just a sentiment that I feel like people are saying to you.
They're just saying, good luck, do your best. That's a great fight. I heard people say like, I'm not really into boxing, but I'm watching this fight. But no one's really coming up to me saying anything about Jake or they want me to knock him out. Just positive vibes.
Cracked a joke about AJ tuning into something better than me, and Joshua just responded with that calm, unbothered smile. Yet, even in that light moment, you could sense the tension, the competition quietly simmering just beneath the surface.
Show for the fans. Let's go to war. Men have done crazier things throughout human history. This is the modern day gladiator sport. This is what we're here to do, is each other up, and I'm ready. I want his hardest punches. I want there to be no excuses when it's all said and done, and let's each other.
Jake shifted gears, trying to plant the first real psychological jab by calling it possibly the biggest loss of Joshua's career. He talked about nerves, timing, and strategy as if he already had Joshua figured out. Joshua didn't respond immediately. He waited, then delivered the sharpest line of the night, calmly reminding everyone that fighters are paid to finish fights. And this is simply what he does. Jake tried to match that energy with pure chaos, stepping into the modern-day gladiator mode, shouting about war, history, and leaving everything on the table. But the contrast only made Joshua look more composed. When he spoke about carrying boxing on his shoulders, claiming he was called to put an end to Jake Paul's spectacle for the sake of the purists. It felt more like a man taking on a mission than hyping a fight. Jake fired back, insisting he's done more for boxing in the last 10 years than anyone else, snapping at critics and fully leaning into his role, the disruptor who thrives on doubt.
And with this one, in terms of putting boxing on my back, it just seems like I'm being called in to, I don't know, save the pugilists, the purists of boxing and so on. People don't like the fact that I'm fighting Jake. Whether that concerns me or not is another question, but if we look at the people that don't want me to be here, but they want me to put an end to Jake Paul's show, I understand it, and that's why I have to carry boxing on my back with this fight.
Age framed the moment like a Clash of Legends legacy meeting rebellion, reminiscent of Jordan versus Iverson. Even when the topic of losing came up, he joked through it, smiling as if the pressure didn't even touch him. By the end, it wasn't just trash talk anymore. It was belief colliding with experience, noise meeting calm, two worlds converging for a moment where only one will stand when the bell finally rings.
Okay, now he wants to fight you.
I just thought a brilliant opportunity, man, you know, because I understand what his audience tuning in does for me, what it does for boxing as a whole, and the ripple effect it has on the industry that I'm in. Because when Jake moves aside, boxing still benefits. I'm a pure boxer, so boxing still benefits. I just thought, what a great opportunity to perform in America just before Christmas. We had been training anyway. Everything was stacked up for it to happen, and I think it's a great date to happen on the 19th of December.
It's when the energy subtly shifts. After all the press conference hype, the chest-thumping, destiny talk, and underdog stories, we transition into the Eddie Hernanthony Joshua conversation. And suddenly, it feels like the adults have taken over. The mix are quieter, the tone calmer, yet somehow the confidence feels even stronger. AJ speaks like a man no longer chasing moments. He's stacking leverage. No offense taken, no ego wounded, no resentment toward YouTube drama. Just clear, sharp focus. He sees Jake Paul for exactly what he is: momentum, audience, opportunity. And eventually, a wall you hit if you keep rolling too long.
I want to do it. You go to the gym to keep fit. As Eddie said, you can see this guy's got a bit of talent. Hey, get some gloves on. Next minute, hey, what do you want to do, some sparring? Next minute, you get carded. Next minute, you're fighting. Next minute, he's fighting Tank. Next minute, he's fighting Anthony Joshua. Boxing is just like it's a snowball effect. It just keeps rolling and getting bigger and bigger and bigger until you meet someone or you hit a wall and it all just goes psst.
Basically walking everyone through the master plan. Like this whole situation is a chapter nobody expected, but everyone's playing it straight and cashing the check. I love how AJ keeps hammering the same point. If you can end it early, you do it. Not for the highlights, not for mercy, but because boxing isn't football, you don't owe anyone a full 90 minutes. And then there's the Usyk camp talk. Jake's fans might want to pause here. When a heavyweight willingly throws himself into the toughest training environment imaginable, not because he has to, but because he wants to push himself further. That's not a man chasing hype.
These guys.
Sergey invited me and said, you're more than welcome to come and do some training. At first, our schedules didn't align, and then our schedules aligned, and I think it was a really good decision. It's been an eye-opener. You know, people could ask me in the future, what message could you give young kids out there? I say, work harder. If you think you're working hard, do more. And if you think you're doing enough, do more. Because that's the only way you're going to win. His free time, well, let's say, I don't think he's been beaten as an amateur either. Anyway, He's an Olympic gold medalist, free time, unified champion. Man, like, if you want to win, surround yourself with winners. It's basic. And it's been a really good experience.
Jake's drive is obvious: money, exposure, disruption, keeping the machine running. AJ's motivation is something else entirely: improvement, discipline, and this quiet certainty that when you strip away the Netflix lights, the influencer aura, and the entire circus, you're left with a seasoned boxer facing someone who hasn't been there. That's why this feels inevitable. Not because Jake doesn't believe, he believes fiercely, but because belief eventually collides with reality. And AJ sounds like the man who already knows exactly how that collision plays out.
How much more can I improve as an athlete? And what I'm doing now, I'm pushing myself more. I think I'm definitely improving as an athlete. And then whatever comes after that is a big bonus. So what motivates me now is the hunger to compete and the hunger to improve. And I actually like, even though it's hard, as I said 2 weeks in, I was like, what am I doing here? I kind of like the athlete lifestyle. It gives me purpose, because when I first went to the gym, I never went to kind of be a champion. I like the fitness.
And just when you think the AJ Eddie section said it all, the story quietly steps up a level. Now we're not talking press conferences or promoter strategy. We're inside the gym, where excuses don't fly and reality hits hard. Lawrence Aiole steps in and suddenly the Jake Paul narrative stops being hypothetical. Listening to him, you realize this wasn't a charity spar, it wasn't YouTuber sightseeing. This was real work with grown men. Oki admits he walked in expecting Jake to be soft, thinking he'd touch him up and leave early. Instead, he walked out thinking, wait, why am I questioning myself after that round? That's not hype, that's a professional heavyweight facing a self-check moment. And the moment Jake actually made him miss, Lawrence switched to full intensity. We're not doing friendly rounds anymore, that says it all. Jake didn't survive because people went easy, he survived because he earned respect. Does that mean he's suddenly ready for AJ? Not at all. But it does prove he isn't just a cardboard cutout stepping into the ring. And that tension? That's what makes this matchup far more uncomfortable than most are willing to admit.
What was your perception of him before you went in camp and sparred him, and what's it now?
I thought he would be soft, if I'm honest with you. I thought he'd be soft. Nah, doesn't want to be in here, doesn't want this, isn't good enough, isn't whatever. And then by the time we left, the opposite. I think he's got big balls. I think he's game. I think he's I want to see him do well because he puts in the work. That's it in a nutshell. I think it's a huge ask. AJ is a massive guy, a very experienced guy, 2-time heavyweight world champion. Like, for boxing, the boxer would be is like, you can't. Surely you can't let this.
But here's where I land on it. And this is where we need to be honest. Oki's respect for Jake is real, but so is his awareness of what happens when heavyweight reality arrives on time. He keeps emphasizing it: size matters, experience matters, clean shots matter. Age combines all three into one very calm, unstoppable problem. I like that Lawrence doesn't want a one-round anticlimax, not because he doubts Joshua, but because he wants the story to carry weight. And that's the irony of this fight. Jake wants to prove that belief and hard work can close the gap, while AJ wants to show that no matter how hard you work, some levels can't be skipped. One man hopes to surprise the world, the other prepares to remind it. And when someone like Aiole, who's shared rounds with both sides, says Jake is brave and improving yet still standing in front of a 2-time heavyweight champion, that's not disrespect, that's perspective. When the bell rings, we won't be watching a joke. We'll be watching a lesson. The only question is whether it's a short lesson or one long enough to spark debate all weekend.
I see him go in and do his thing, want to see him go in there and showcase what, hard work and belief can do. If our WBO world champion could come from white collar to be heavyweight world champion, then why can't Jake Paul be competitive with AJ?
How many rounds did you do with him? Do you remember?
We're doing that because he had Jared as well, so we were doing 3 to 6 every other day. So I don't know, probably 30 something like that, 30 something rounds.
Everyone wants to see Jake show what hard work and belief can do. If a white-collar athlete became a WBO world champ, why not Jake Paul against AJ? Lawrence says they ran 30-plus rounds in the gym, pushing real work, not hype. Stack that with the press conference tension, AJ's icy composure, and Eddie quietly mapping the long game, and this fight stops feeling like a viral experiment. It's a real crossroads. Jake believes and came prepared. Age relies on years of experience, structure, and habits at the top. It's ambition versus accumulation, confidence versus repetition, momentum versus muscle memory. Some hope for a historic upset. Others watch to see boxing's hierarchy reaffirmed. There's no middle ground, and that's what makes it so compelling.
Yeah. Then we sparred, do you know what I mean? And I went all out, and then we just kept that same energy throughout camp. So that day I might have caught him off guard, you know, with just the intensity that I was coming with, but there wasn't any particular punch that I remember like, ooh, that one did it. It was just, I was just really on him that day. And then, like I said, he came back and then he leveled up from that one. And then from there, the coaches started coming up to me like, saying, we need that. We need you to, I need that. And I was thinking, like, fair enough. Like, if you need that, I'm gonna keep.
What do you think? Is Jake daring enough to rewrite reality? Or is this the moment heavyweight boxing shows just how unforgiving it can be? Drop your thoughts in the comments, debate respectfully, and let's see where the fans really stand. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.